visions of Mars on planet Earth. When you travel to a place like this, you really question whether the moon landing was staged or not.
Good evening, New York. You're listening to WKCR 89.9 FM and WKCR HD. This is Groove Trackers, the show on which we bring in a DJ to play an hour on vinyl and we talk to them about their record collection and what record culture means to them. I'm your host, Prezzo. I'm here with Jake, and Jake, you've picked this first record. What are we listening to?
We're listening to Liars, Rose and Licorice. It's a cover of an Oneida song off of Liars' split LP with Oneida, Atheists Reconsider, out on Version City in 2002. Shout out to Doug Mozarok and Rebecca Ross, wherever they may be.
Fantastic. But you know what? Who cares about us? Because we've got a guest with us tonight. It's Porkchop. Porkchop, welcome to WKCR FM.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, Porkchop, we're going to jump straight into the music. Tell us, what are we kicking off with?
We're going to kick it off with a little DJ overdose from The Hog and a track called On de Overkant.
Fantastic. Right. Stay tuned on WKCR FM. It's Porkchop until the top of the hour on Groove Trackers.
Serving it.
Pioneers of house music died while housing it in one of his popular nightclubs. His death is being mourned all over, and it's truly a sad day. Mass hysteria and looting are widespread across the world. Riots were reported in London, and the United Nations is calling for emergency meetings.
together, no matter. Can I go on not knowing? Don't know what I'm made of. Why am I afraid of feeling? If I dared to take a chance, would someone
You're listening to WKCR FM. We got Porkchop in the studio with us, and from what I understand, Porkchop, this is one of your own tracks playing right now.
It is, and this is a track from my it's like a quadruple 12-inch retrospective of recordings from the last 20 years called The Life and Times of Gigi Black.
Fantastic. Now, in this first segment, we want to talk to you about your records, the records you brought with you, and some of the stories attached to them. So, is there a record you have with you today that you're going to play in this mix which has a story attached? It's kind of strong personal connection to you?
The Wiz soundtrack that I played a bit of earlier during the intro.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I've talked about that record, I'm going to have to veer from my program to play another track off of this record.
Oh, I see. Okay. Why the Wiz soundtrack? Where did you hear this soundtrack for the first time?
Well, seeing the movie in the theaters as a child, and it is a Quincy Jones record. So I bought it because of that, to honor Quincy Jones. But DJ Rush in Chicago used to play Can You Feel a Brand New Day? And every time I hear that song, I think back to growing up in Chicago and hearing things like the Wiz soundtrack, like with Skinny Puppy or Propaganda.
Fantastic. And so, I mean, that's so fascinating to me because you're bringing tracks from your childhood into the mixing you're doing right now. I mean, is this Wiz soundtrack, are you playing out in the clubs in New York, also bringing in this Wiz soundtrack, or was that specially for the show today?
I'm playing music from all ages in the club, just like the Theo Parrish MO, I'm playing all genres, whatever I could mix together, multi-genre.
Fantastic.
More in the vein of house music as a feeling, like maybe before house music had its own genre of records, when it was a million different flavors bought together to make a substantial party music.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to let you get back to it. It's Porkchop here on WKCR FM until the top of the hour.
kiss with passion. kiss with pain. Don't fall in love. Just a love attack. Get back, don't fight it. Just a love attack. Just a love attack. I love it. Just a love attack. Just a love attack. Get back, don't fight it. Just a love attack. Just a love attack. As it should be. Some girls think a kiss is a contract. As it is, I tell myself, don't fall in love. It's just a love attack. When we kiss with passion. When we kiss with pain. When we kiss with fire. It's just a love attack. Don't fall in love. Just a love attack. Just a love attack. Get back, don't fight it. Just a love attack. Just a love attack. I love it. Just a love attack. Just a love attack. Get back, don't fight it. Just a love attack. Just a love attack. I don't know you. I only know your name. And your name is Trouble. There's some things I love more than life. And one of them is trouble. Trouble is a way of life. Don't fall in love.
You're listening to Groove Trackers on WKCR FM. We're here with Porkchop. Porkchop, you said this is a very interesting track playing right now in terms of like the medium.
This track was made with a copy of one record and a boombox with a pause button. It is from the last of my pause cassette tape edit series that probably started sometime in the mid-90s, trying to make my own remixes, but a lot of that stuff I made on 4-track or just a cassette player, and they didn't make the jump to CD or MP3 for many years.
Fantastic. Now we're going to jump into the second segment with Jake. Take it away.
And I'm going to jump back to the first record, the record that I played for you, which was autobiographical, that Liars record. I know that we both go back to that scene. A lot of time has passed, and you said something so beautiful. You said, somewhere between the release of that record and today, I became middle-aged. And so my question to you, and it's a valueless question, not good or bad, but time just being what it is, what keeps you going?
quest for new terrain.
And where is that quest taking you next? Or is the point not knowing?
The point is not knowing, I guess.
Well, you know, we don't know what's in front of us, but we know what's behind us. You don't know where you're going, but you know where you've been.
I know where I've been.
So, yeah, talk about the places you've been.
Recently or
Whenever. Time is a flat circle, just like these records.
I guess the most interesting place I've been in recent times has been the Boulder, Utah area. I drove across country a few times this last year, and if you want to go to another planet while remaining on Earth, go to some place around the Colorado-Utah border.
Why so?
It's otherworldly.
Describe it. As Prezzo says, use the power of language.
It's indescribable, really.
What are you seeing? Like, I'm looking at your eyes. They're going somewhere. Tell me what's behind those eyes. Describe that picture.
Visions of Mars on planet Earth. When you travel to a place like this, you really question whether the moon landing was staged or not.
I love how we've gone from like a metaphorical musical terrain to the physical terrain of Utah to intergalactic conspiracy theories.
I definitely believe that we landed in space and planted a flag.
And I definitely,
For the record.
And I definitely believe that we've landed this segment.
Well, on that beautiful note, we're going to get back to this intergalactic journey we've been on with Porkchop until this point. It's Groove Trackers FM to the top of the hour here on WKCR.
Dímele entonces al público cómo es que a ti te gustan.
Bueno, chico, a mí me gustan negritos, gorditos y bien larguitos, ¿ok? Adivino rico donde toquite se comprará papa de con roque que roque es gana chafa de manimo que cae de capaz de rayo que tona malasa.
I'm trying to talk to
another woman falling. See a father cry. Look in the eyes of the falling.
You are listening to WKCR FM. We're here with Porkchop, and we're about to jump into the quick fire round. Rules, Jake, quick.
All right, you get one pass. You get a boomerang for each of us. You know the rules. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready or not, here we go. Favorite record store in the world, Porkchop? Name it.
Ergot.
All right, favorite record store outside of New York City, anywhere in the world?
Gramophone.
All right. Favorite record store that is now closed, that you miss?
Dope Jams in Brooklyn.
Fantastic. Now, if we're talking beyond record stores, something that isn't a record store or the internet, where do you find records?
The Thing.
Nice, shout out The Thing.
Yep. What's the most exciting thing? What was your most exciting find? Do you remember it? Either recently or of all time?
Of all times, I want to say a record by this guy, Ralph, and the
Doesn't matter.
Brave Mercenary Activities.
All right. When you walk into a record store, what's the one thing it has to have for it to be a good record store?
The smell of mold.
All right. What is a place? What's a record that you look for every time you walk into a record store that you're hoping to find?
What genre?
Any genre. You don't have it, you want it.
I'm always looking for a copy of On and On by Vince Lawrence and Jesse Song.
Fantastic. Now we're going to close on a listener question, namely, how do you know the difference, Porkchop, between good and bad house music?
Canned preset synthesizers.
Equals bad?
Is that the good music?
Bad build-up, bad arrangements.
There you go, shots fired. Now we're going to close the mix with Porkchop here on WKCR FM, so keep it tuned to Groove Trackers.
Your hand, the clever chick gigolos romance the wealthy matrons at La Cage aux Folles. It's slightly 40s and a little bit new wave. You may be dancing with a girl who needs a shave. We're both the riffraff and the royalty are patrons at La Cage aux Folles. A central tradition. You lose each inhibition all week long. We're wondering who left the green shoe all chic out in the loo.
I'm not a machine!
You'll be dazzled by the ambiance you're in. You'll never notice that there's water in the gin. Come for a drink and you may want to spend the winter at La Cage aux Folles. It's bad and beautiful, it's sporty and bizarre. I know a duchess that got pregnant at the bar. Just who is who and what is quite a question at La Cage aux Folles. The maker D is
This has been Groove Trackers on WKCR 89.9 FM, WKCR HD. We've had Porkchop in the studio with us. Porkchop, as we sign off to the night, any shout-outs to send across the airwaves?
I want to give a shout-out to my girl, Sue Jane, who is Columbia alumni, and my guy, John Fell Ryan from Acceptor, another Acceptor Columbia alumni. And I want to give a shout out to the 62 crew and Jack Skateboard Team, Uncle Funky Skateboard Shop, GGI Skates, Red Light, Black Label Bicycle Club.
Any other wheels to shout out? Any other wheeled
K9
apparatuses?
Wheels, Dogtown Skateboards.
Fantastic. And if you want to keep up with Porkchop, head over to the Groove Trackers.
Nation Records.
Nation Records.
Boom.
Long Island
Shout out to
Electrical
Trax.
Systems. Shout out to Trax and Ron.
And if you want to keep up with Porkchop, head over to the Groove Trackers FM Instagram page. You'll find the show information there as well as the track list. And with that, we're going to be signing off from FM radio. But as you can hear, we're still going in here. And if you head over to the WKCR SoundCloud, you can hear an extra long version of this show because Porkchop's just going to keep mixing. But at least to our FM radio listeners, this is good night from me. Jake, good night.
Good night, Tommy.
And Porkchop, good night. Thank you for coming in.
Good night. Try to come and see me and Sweater on Polo at Bossa Nova.
Hey.
December 11th.
December 11th. Good night, sweet servant.
There we go. Good night, everyone.
Won't you tell me what is the use? I'm on to you. I've made another plan. I'm going to talk with your friend. You stood and stared as we walked past. You had your joke. It wasn't the last. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha.
I can't
Now, Porkchop.
Yes.
Porkchop.
Where does Porkchop come from? Because your citizen name is John.
Ha! The nom de plume Porkchop comes from the world of graffiti, where that was the tag that I was trying to put up. And when I began my DJ career, I tried to keep what was happening in the streets with the graffiti separate from the other parts of my life. So I was DJ John Nicholson, but DJ John Nicholson wasn't getting any gigs.
Now, I question about the overlap in New York specifically between graffiti and DJing, because I know, for instance, Joey Beltram. There's a John Beltran, Joey Beltram. Joey Beltram, kind of big techno 90s house techno, but also a graffiti artist and a taxi driver I had to the airport recently who was from the East Village was talking to me about how, there was this strong overlap in the 90s between graffiti and house music. And does that resonate at all with you, or am I kind of way off the mark?
It does. Joey Beltram, Adam X, Frankie Bones. I think all of those dudes wrote graffiti.
Porkchop as well.
I grew up in Chicago.
Oh, excuse me.
I was born in New York, and I've lived back here for the last 25 years. So at this point, I'm a New Yorker.
So you were doing graffiti in Chicago then?
Yes, I was.
What was that like? What was that scene like for you? What was the overlap between music and graffiti in Chicago, if at all?
I think for me, it was most definitely Medusa's and the youth culture that took place on the north side in Lincoln Park, Lakeview, in the mid to late 80s.
Did music take you to graffiti, or graffiti take you to music, or were they completely separate developments in your life? Or is there just no overlap between? They're two separate things that you were doing, and they just come together in you. That there's not some kind of connection between them.
No, they totally connect, and I guess. Wait, can you ask that again? I'm
yeah, I
sorry.
suppose my question was did one lead to another? Did the community that you developed through graffiti kind of take you into DJ culture, or vice versa?
A lot of kids in high school had tags. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the people that gravitated towards things like graffiti and DJ culture, they were very much one and the same.
Can I get back to the name thing?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know how many names Mr. John Nicholson goes by.
Ooh.
Another name, which is John's live name, is the SSPS. Do you mind talking about that name?
SSPS sounds like a band, but it's really a one-person operation with occasional guests. And I am the secret servant of the private sector, which sort of describes what I do in the daytime in my 9-to-5 life as a fine art technician and installer.
Huh. Excellent.
No follow-up?
No follow-up. I don't know. It sounded like you were about to reveal more.
To be the secret servant of the private sector, to handle. There's only a certain. There is a certain class of people that can afford to buy things like Jean-Michel Basquiat paintings and Matthew Barney.
And you are the
anything.
secret servant of these people.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's the stuff we handle in the daytime. And
Just
those-
because they serve you doesn't mean they like you.
I'm in the service industry for wealthy people.